I know it's been a while. Unfortunately, summer is just way too busy for me to do literally anything. And don't worry, it's only the middle of October and things are kind of starting to slow down. So, oh yeah, I can't wear glasses because then I start winking a lot. Well, there's been quite a few things that I think I could talk about or complain about, and Rivals is definitely, could be one of them. There goes my phone. What I'm finding to be a bit more atrocious, and I know that I've probably said this a lot to myself, but what I don't know if I made a video about yet is the absolute state of Pokemon right now. And I know I've talked about the cards before and how the trading card game has basically become a financial wing or a financial product. Like, granted, it's actually starting to mellow out now, or so people say. As good as that information is, only time will tell. But yeah, the absolute state of Pokemon right now, because Legends ZA just came out. And just comparing it to not even the previous Legends game, this is technically the, not in universe sequel, but in game versions sequel, it doesn't even touch Legends Arceus type of quality of any kind. It's so much just a bad copy paste of Scarlet and Violet, which already had so many problems. And would it be wrong of me to say that I'm not shocked? I was almost expecting it to be this bad. It's just how the way things are going now with not only Pokemon, but also Nintendo, and not just Nintendo, but games in general. A lot of them are just falling down the tubes, and that's everywhere. That's on every spectrum that gaming touches. So not only video games, but obviously card games, tabletop games, every genre of game, MMOs, single player, shooters. Granted, Battlefield that recently came out is showing some promise. People are actually enjoying playing that, and I hope they continue to. Rivals has kind of balanced out, and while I probably won't be playing much of it anymore, it's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad, and I could see why people would still play that game. Granted, there's still people that play Dead by Daylight, but some things just stick with people. But unfortunately, as someone who has played Pokemon their whole life, I'm gonna say it, as soon as I could get a Game Boy, which I did have an original Game Boy, but when I got my Game Boy Color, and I know all you 90s babies out there, as soon as you got your Game Boy Color, that was your life. It was your life. You played, you constantly touched that if you didn't have a console to touch at home or weren't versed on PCs or anything like that. So, Red, I had Blue, so Blue is still my favorite. I know it's nostalgia bait, but I've played and I own every non-DS version of Pokemon. I officially do. I technically didn't own Emerald, so I recently bought that, and wow, that was that was a purchase. But yes, I now own all copies that are not DS of Pokemon. I have played each version though. In the last 2 years, I have gone through and played what I could of each version. So I have at least played through every Pokemon game that has been released until yesterday or whatever, minus Arceus. To be fair, I never finished Arceus. I want to finish it one day, but I will admit, that is one I haven't finished. Now, after saying all of that, let me just say, okay, if anyone out there, please, if anyone out there plays Pokemon for the story, you don't play it to catch Pokemon, to raise them, to battle them. You literally play the games for the story. Tell me who you are, because you are an alien creature. You have to be. The stories are never good. Are they okay? Some are okay. Some you can even get a little invested in, I agree. But they are, no, they're bad. They're not good. Are there worse stories out there? Sure. But as far as being, what is it, the number one franchise in the world, the biggest IP in the world, which as far as we know has ever been, like, if we can't figure out what happened to ancient civilizations, like, we are the best that we have ever been. So Pokemon is the biggest IP that has ever been ever. And the fact that they can't even get one good story, let alone the little quality that their stories had, are now just diminished into absolute nothingness, is one of the bigger reasons why it's just going down the toilet. And the big thing that most people would agree with is that the gameplay is boring. And while I understand that there's a formula, you have a Pokemon, you catch Pokemon, you raise Pokemon, you defeat gym leaders or whatever equivalencies to gym leaders there are, you become the champion, then you collect all the Pokemon, yada, I get it, that's the routine, I understand. But the only thing that's changed throughout all of them is the gimmicks. So you've got terrestrialization, you've got megas, you've got Z moves, you've got, all the things. It's just little additions. Granted, I'll admit that terrestrialization was probably the most intuitive gimmick that they've done so far. Like, that one I actually really appreciate. It changes up the game quite a bit. And they've also incorporated things like raid battles, online play. So I don't want to sit here and say like they've done literally zero, but when it came to like unique things to do, or maybe like updated versions of how to catch Pokemon and how to battle Pokemon, and even transferring it to a 3D world, I think a lot of people had a problem with. So anyway, like I said, I can't remember if I've bitched about this before. But anyway, let me just compare this to ZA, which I've only watched a couple people play, and listen to their critiques about it. I'm sure things might change in the near future, or maybe some people will find more positives in it than I do. But again, as far as the story, apparently the story in ZA is that you are a person who buddies up with another person who is a part of a gang who is in debt to loan sharks. And the point of the game is to battle people for their money so that you can pay off these loan sharks. Does that sound anything like a Pokemon game? Any kind of like children's game? Okay, you got me there. That's quite unique for Pokemon, to be fair. That you work for the bad guys, which technically aren't the bad guys. So, like, okay, props to you, Pokemon. You're trying out something new, but loan sharks? Really? Like, that's the bad guys that we're going to try to... Okay. Very strange. Very weird. And like I said, I don't think it's very developed at all. And another thing people like to say is that, we definitely need voice acting, which I'm on the fence of. Like, sure, voice acting would definitely help. That would help you differentiate the characters and have more of a connection with them when they actually speak. And I understand the reason why they don't do that is because then they have to translate it for every language. And that can be a hassle, but heaven forbid they put an effort in this game. Oh my gosh, this thing keeps dropping, and it's so annoying. There we go, that's better. But yeah, it's the characters, I don't know, they look cool, and that's about it. Like, I can recognize Pokemon characters, which are slowly turning into like as crazy as Yu-Gi-Oh characters with how unique their designs are getting. But honestly, they have no personalities whatsoever. I think like the person with the biggest personality, aside from obviously the first gens, you could say quote unquote, with Red, Blue, or Gary Oak, or whoever you named that guy in your game, or outside of the animes, to be fair, outside of the anime, is Lily. She's like the only one, and that's because she was the main character of that story. You were not. And she's like the only thing with character. And now obviously people put a lot of character into Cynthia, the gym leader, which in the story, no, she didn't do much in the story, sorry. She was crazy when you encountered her for the first time and you weren't aware that the difficulty of the game went from baby easy to almost Dark Soul levels hard, almost, to be fair. Because it sweeps you from under your foot. You weren't prepared for it. But anyway, there's barely any characters in the Pokemon games either. Again, if you are playing the games for a character, who are you? What planet did you come from? I guess, feel free to buy all of the versions of this game, which aren't on cartridges, by the way. Hey, that's another great thing, but that's going to be more when I go over Nintendo stuff. That's not necessarily unique to Pokemon. But as far as like the way the game looks, it looks just like copied assets out of Scarlet and Violet, with just as much attention enough attention to detail paid to that game too. Granted, they did have a what would you call, like, they already had X and Y to build the city off of, so they didn't have to go with something that's completely unique. But they did have a baseline already that they just had to copy over to. And as far as I know, it kind of resembles it, but not really, Oh, wow, you can go on the roofs. Crazy. I'm sorry, it's not much. And there's not much you can do. It's a city. That's it. There's some other exclusive areas to the story, and that's it. You've got the little parks you can go into, the rooftops, ta-da. That's as far as you go. Even in X and Y, you could go to multiple places outside of the city, and not to mention you had the skates. I thought were awesome. Granted, you didn't really have like a big area where you could do like some like Tony Hawk skater stuff. You really felt confined with those skates on, but at least that was still a fun way to move around the city. You don't have those in ZA. You have a fake double jump, which is basically just a save from you dying when you jump over a high ledge. It's so bad. It's sure, your Pokemon can run out along with you now, and Pokemon are out in the open, which is, the thing with the Legends games, and that they've slowly turned into the normal ones. But like the way the buildings look, the graphics, the animations, the like 5 animations that they have, that they still do cutscenes in between every action that's implied through text. So like indie games done by less than 10 people do this stuff, and that's understandable for them. Billions of dollars. Where is it going? Where is it going? Why don't you hire a bigger team? Obviously, you don't give two shits when it comes to how, like, the attention to detail, or keeping things in check, or putting a lot of effort into it. You seem to just copy-paste whatever you can, and whether that's the developer's problem, the time budget, whatever is going on, you should throw more money at it. You should really throw more money at it. It's painful. And then, of course, with the game looking the way it does now, and obviously not being a main line of Pokemon games, they technically added in new Pokemon because they added in new Megas, but they didn't add in a whole 100+ new Pokemon to catch. Again, so where did all this development time go to? Just the Megas? Okay. Some of the killer things for me. aside from obvious bugs, which I don't think are as bad as Violet and Scarlet's were, they're still going to be there, so I'm sure I'll mention those. And the fact that there's 2 versions of the game, and one of the versions is purposefully downgraded from the other one to entice you to buy it to another one, which again is not necessarily Pokemon's fault. It's more Nintendo's, and we'll get on that. But I think the most erroneous thing, which I don't know who to blame, if it's Nintendo or Pokemon or not, is the fact that DLC exists for the game day one, and apparently the ending, the actual true ending of this game, is on that DLC. Are you nuts? We have to pay for this full-priced game, which is what, $70 now? Which isn't a real full game, and you want us to buy DLC to finish it, which is another $30-some. And of course people are saying, well, you know what that means is you also need Nintendo Direct in order to play it, which I'm unsure about that or not. But I know if you want to collect them all, which has been true for every Pokemon game ever, you have to buy 2. So, granted, okay, this is a Legends game, so you don't have to do that. So because people don't have to buy 2 versions of the game, you make them buy DLC. Then they also have limited time megas that you can't get after a certain period of time. Bitch, are you for real? So even if I buy this game a year or 2 from now from someone else who gets obviously bored of it, I won't be able to get these Pokemon anymore because they were a limited time. Really, we're gonna do this shit too. And it's not like I can't afford these games, okay? I make money. I make okay, decent money. I can afford this bullshit, but I don't want to buy it. I really don't. And now, if this was in a nutshell, or this was all, in a vacuum, where this is just Pokemon, everything else in the world is sunshine and rainbows, it's just Pokemon that's doing this garbage, I may buy it. I might buy it, maybe. However, this travesty is unfortunately tied to another travesty, which is called Nintendo. And let me just roll my notes over here to all the delicious things that Nintendo has done recently. The Switch 2, just in general. While some people are comparing this from the Wii to the Wii U, which the Wii and the Wii U are 2 completely separate. They were separate consoles in my eyes. One had a complete whole controller, which was also a gamepad. So different, okay? Different. The Switch 2 is just the Switch. It just has what did it come down to? I also wrote this in. A 1.7 inch bigger screen. Whoop-de shit. And its base dimensions or whatever is 1080p. Conversely to the normal Switch is 720. Okay, cool. That's great, awesome, wow. And then it also has 4K ability when you put it in the dock. Cool. So why do I need to pay $600 for this again? Because they have new Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons, instead of sliding onto the console, they're now magnetic. And then they say they changed other shit, but that's bullshit. And people had to break open their Switch 2s just to confirm this. They didn't trust Nintendo. Nintendo lied. They lied about the Joy consoles having different sticks. They fucking lied about it. They don't. They have the same fucking sticks that break, that lose their sensitivity, and it had to take people breaking the console in order to do that. Oh, and guess what, by the way? If you happen to get, again, a game which aren't on cartridges anymore, maybe, remember, you don't own the game, you just own the license to play the game, and if you happen to buy this license, and it happens to be somehow a fake license that downloads the game when it shouldn't download it to your system, whether you knew it or not, whether you knew it or not, Nintendo can just reach out and disable your entire console. They can forcefully brick your console if you are playing with an illegitimate game, or so they consider it to be. What the fuck are we doing? What is going on? Why, of course, no one thinks this is okay except maybe Nintendo, and we all know Nintendo is so precious with their IPs and their video games. They never put them on sale. They never do anything for the consumers. When people beg for them to have the virtual consoles put onto the Switch when it came out, and the few that we got, according to my husband, who is way more knowledgeable about virtual consoles and rips when it comes to these kinds of games, he said the ports were the bad ports. They didn't even get direct ports, even though they own the fuckers. No! They put the bad ports on games, so some games you can't even play, especially when you have to pay extra for them. You don't get them for free or buy them one time. No, they're a subscription. And you know the bonus on Switch 2? You get the GameCube subscription games. Wow! Can't believe that. I wonder what kind of ports they're going to have for those games. Shut up, car. I am awake. Oh my god. Okay. Of course, they also say, like, it has better internet connection and just a load of horse shit. Just a load of horse shit from this company. From this recent console, whatever the hell. Wow, I'm you know what, guys? I'm already calling it Switch 3, baby. Switch 3, it's going to have another inch bigger screen. And guess what? It's going to be able to do 2K. Oh my god, because there's this way better console called a Steam Deck that's competing with them. And I swear to God, I hope the Steam Deck just keeps blowing them out of the water. Because the only reason Nintendo can do all this crap is because of their precious fucking IPs that they never share. Because they keep re-releasing the same 5 games over and over and over again. They've done it for the last 20 fucking years. They do a Mario, they do a Zelda, they do a Donkey Kong, and now they do a Melee or a Brawl, they do a Mario Kart, and then they just fucking rinse and repeat, dude. Maybe occasionally come out with a Kirby game, just shut some people up. But seriously, it's the same slop over and over and over again with slightly better graphics and a weird mechanic in it, which people fucking hated when it came to the new Mario Kart. And then people are saying, wow, the new Donkey Kong, there's no Diddy in it. The Donkey Kong game that came out, while it looks like fun, they realize it's nonsense. It's a baby game. You press button, thing happen, but there's no connection. There's no real puzzles. There's no real exploration. There's really nothing to do outside of pound thing go boom. There's no intuitiveness to it. It's nothing like Tropical Island or whatever, one of the last Donkey Kong games that came out that was actually good. No, it's not. I switched to my notes here. Okay, and of course when it comes to their goddamn IPs, you know, we all know what goes on. You're not allowed to post anything that has some kind of Nintendo licensing. Putting Mario on your screen, don't do that. Playing 5 seconds of a Mario song, don't do that. You'll definitely get copyright strike for whatever you do. Heaven forbid you make mods. Yeah, right. You can't even make your own content. They don't even let fans make their own content for this bullshit. They copyright strike it. They pull it down. They hate you for it. And then heavens to Betsy, someone makes another monster creature game where you capture monsters. You know what they're going to do? They're going to sue you for a copyright infringement that they don't even fucking have at the moment, just to put in that copyright or whatever into the court system that will later be approved, and then they continue with their fake bullshit lawsuit. And then, of course, they try to get patents for literally, is this a video game? Well, we're going to patent it. It's Nintendo's now. Oh my god. And then, of course, okay, there was one thing where I saw that they were doing layoffs. Okay, I saw those videos. You saw those videos. Apparently those weren't true. But I just have sneaking suspicions, man. I just have sneaking suspicions. Like, with the crap that they pull out, unless a lot of people are in administration, I mean like 90% of those fuckers are in administration roles, they don't have a big staff. They don't. And the few that they're going to have, I hope do get fired. I feel bad for those people because, again, those are the people that aren't steering this ship, the Nintendo ship. Okay, they're not. But unfortunately, this company has become probably the most egregious, the most grubby that I've ever, one of the tops for sure. And of course they're joining their legendary partner in crime, which is Disney. Another, childhood trauma that all us millennials are going through. It's excuse me, sorry. But yeah, it upsets me to absolutely no bounds. I am not buying a Switch 2. Maybe from a secondary seller, maybe. What's the point of buying the games? They're just links to download. I'll probably find a Switch 2, maybe hack it, I don't know. Hands up, don't blame me, I haven't done anything yet. And just I don't know, dude, it's just so bad. It's so sad. And of course it has to be wagoned to Pokemon, which is one of the last few things I'm trying to enjoy in this world. That's so bad. That's terrible. I shouldn't say that. But yeah, it's frustrating beyond belief. And like I said, it's not only the video games that are losing popularity because they are just so dog shit terrible. It's the card game that has become gold wrapped in plastic to some people, I guess. They can't even enjoy that. I don't play Pokemon Unite. It just never got with me. Is it even a real thing anymore? Apparently it is. Pokemon Go I haven't opened up in a long time. I just don't see a point because I can't do the mega raids. There are still groups out there that do, and good for them, but I work during the day. I have an hour commute, so I'm on the road for 2 fucking hours every day. I just don't have time for Pokemon Go. And then the only thing I do still poke around with is Pocket. But man, they led that down the tube so hard with this pack that has only old cards and 10 new cards. And it's a whole new set though, so it doesn't, even though it's the same card from an old set, it doesn't count towards that old set. So you can't complete old sets with this special pack, which is going away in a few weeks. I can't enjoy it. I can't enjoy things anymore. I just can't, dude. I've tried. I've held in there. Like I said, I've bought every cartridge game. I have played every Pokemon game. My goal in most of those is to collect them all. I got really fucking close to collecting them all. There's just some exclusive ones that I was trying to figure out how to get, Celebi and all those, really weird ones. And then of course Arceus, because I haven't played through it yet. And of course I have to pay for my Nintendo online subscription in order to put it on Pokemon Home. Yeah, so anyway. Thanks for listening to my rant. Again, I probably did complain about this before, but ZA is just it's the cherry, it's the candle on top of the shit cake, and I'm done eating it. I'm done. I'm done. I'll watch from afar. I'll play my old games. I'll pray that maybe Nintendo turns a leaf. And of course it's when Imahara, I'm so sorry, I'm bad with remembering these names, but the last CEO, when he passed away, he was the only one keeping Nintendo a sane company, and whoever took it over is just a corpo, financial, Wall Street bro, could give 2 cares less about the gamers. And that's just how it is. And that's how everything is now. So yeah, hopefully one day a lot of this will fall through. Indie games will rise. Praise Lord Gabe and his never-ending love for deals on Steam. But anyway, hope you guys find some fun. Find some enjoyment, even if it's just crap from China. I don't care anymore, man. If crap from China is enjoyable, enjoy that slop. Our slop needs to just end. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, have a good one.